Hi, I'm Nathan Gibbs from Abilene Christian University. And my part of the panel, I'm focusing on technical training online. The genesis of this came from this struggle of semester after semester of trying to do in-class trainings. And you end up with some students who already know how to do it and some students who've never seen or touched any of these kinds of tools before. And so you have this struggle and this trouble in the class, and I wanted to try to separate that and make more space in class for critical thinking and analysis, and try to push that technical piece online, lets them learn at their own pace, and hopefully can kind of take apart some of that, where people who need to, let's say, watch a video a few times, they can do that, and someone who can kind of fast forward because they know a bit of this can do that also. The podcasting sequence is built into 3 modules, one on recording in studio, editing in Audition, and then publishing to the web. And each of the modules is broken down into sections, and there's a training portion where they learn how to do this particular task, and then an assignment that they have to submit, and then a quiz to reinforce that learning. Within the sequence, there were a couple of different methods I used. So essentially 2 different methods, one where it's click-for-click screenshots, and another where it's screencasts, video screencasts, where I'm demonstrating the software and how you use it. I did do screenshots in this case because it's something that can be updated a little bit more easily when the software gets updated or when we have system updates based on other people using and updating our IT department, changing things on the computer. That'll be a little bit easier to swap out a particular screenshot rather than re-editing a video. But screencasts ultimately help show you how to do it, right? Like if we look at something simple here, like adjusting volume.
The issue you need to be able to work with is volume. How do you turn these tracks or these clips up and down?
So if I skip through, you'll see that I'm giving them a couple of different options for how to demonstrate audio editing there. And that's much better done with a video so they can see what it looks like and hear the actual results of it. So other thing I tried to do was to break these down into really simple pieces, just a couple of minutes each, so that they can do it at their own pace, or they can say, you know what, I already know how to do the volume in Audition. I don't need that. But what's non-destructive editing? I'm not sure what that is. Let me watch that one. Another thing I did was I moved all of this out of the class so that they did all of this learning on their own. And then in class, we did review them. So we took a look at the submissions. What did their recordings look like in Audition? How high or low were the levels? And gave some critique about what it should look like. Then, again, the next round where they add in music, then we listened to it and we looked at it and we gave critique. So there was an in-class component, but it was focused on analyzing and less on the initial building blocks of how to do it. I went back and analyzed what I did and how the students went through this, and ultimately found that there was kind of a split preference for screenshots and screencasts. The sequence that I built was only a third screenshots, and it was 2/3 screencast videos. And so since the preference was split, I felt like that actually did lean a little bit more heavily that they liked the screenshots being step by step. A little bit more even than the videos. There was a preference, of course, for replaying the videos also. So they do use that and appreciate being able to play that back and forth. I asked them about the idea of working outside of class. Was that better than doing it inside of class? And they preferred to learn at their own pace. So that was a preference. And then they also really did like the idea of critiquing in class, that it wasn't just submitting to your professor online, kind of in the hollow emptiness of the learning management system, but they were able to get feedback from their peers and from the professor in person, and that was an important part as well. I did a little bit of assessing and actually did use a rubric and graded everything again using the rubric, and the online submissions were slightly lower than what I typically get from in-class training. But it was all within a few percentage points. I mean, the worst metric was only 9% off, and most of them were within 1% or 2 or 3%. So it was really close. And overall, to me, that said that this is a successful way to work. That loss that minor loss in quality on what really is a first-time method of teaching online, it still worked just as good as several years worth of methodology in teaching in class. So I'm very happy with the way that works online and that they're able to do it outside of class. For me, again, this foray into online teaching for podcasting, this worked really well. I'm happy with that. It's available for anyone. If you use Canvas, it's in the Commons. You can look for this, the podcast production tutorials. I also wrote about the assessment I did in the Teaching and Journalism Mass Communication Journal, the small programs interest group for AJMC. That's in the 2019 volume 2. So if you have any questions about all of this, or you'd like to, you can't find it or you need to look for it, you can reach out to me here through the website. My contact info is there, and I'd love to talk to you. Thanks.